YouTube is replete with videos about comprehensible input for language learning as the best way to learn language, and maybe even the only way to learn language. Comprehensible input is the idea that there's only one way that we learn language, which is when we understand a message. This is true, but it's only half true. There are two ways that we learn language. The first is when we understand a message. The second is when we make a message understood. So if we're talking about comprehensible input, we should also be talking about comprehensible output, because it's two sides of the same coin. People like to think that if you just listen to language, like a child, just listen to language long enough, you're going to be able to speak it. That's a lot like thinking that if you watch enough video on how to dance salsa, that at some point you'll be able to dance salsa yourself, right? Or learning how to box by just watching boxing videos. At some point I'll be able to do it myself. Doesn't really happen. So I'm not arguing one or the other. It's not like, oh, it's like breathing. Like listening and speaking is like breathing. Input and output is like breathing. There's inhaling and there's exhaling. So like if you come along and say, oh, I just listen. It's like, okay, so I just inhale and exhale. And that's how I'm getting so good at exercise or something. Anyway, it's both ways, but I will make the argument that if one way worked better than the other, you're more likely to be able to understand if you can speak well than be able to speak well because you understand well. So the more you can speak, the more you can understand, but it's not necessarily that the more you can understand, the more you can speak. So that's my argument for comprehensible output.